There's one place in the Gospel of Mark where Jesus boldly, loudly, publicly, clearly proclaims who he is. And that's Mark chapter 14, verse 62. In Mark chapter 14, verse 62, Jesus has been asked by the high priest, who is he? This question, Jesus, who are you? Jesus responds, I am. And you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the power and coming with the clouds of heaven. What does that mean? The only being that comes on the clouds of heaven in the Old Testament is a divine being. In fact, God comes on the clouds of heaven in the Old Testament. Okay, so whoever this Son of Man is, he's coming as a God into heaven. He's given glory, authority, and sovereign power in heaven. Then it says, people of every nation and language served him. Stop. Who is the one who receives service in heaven? God.
Is Jesus talking? I'm going away and I'm coming back to you. If you love me, you'd be glad that I'm going to the Father, for the Father is greater than I. And I know that, I'm not reading the whole context of it, but how would you answer that question when trying to address that whole Trinity relationship? Jesus is saying the Father is greater than I. Is he God? Is he greater? What's going on?
Great question. Muslims will often refer to that verse in John 14, the Father is greater than I. And they'll say, obviously, Jesus is not God. And I will say, well, let's look at that in context. John 14 in specific, if you look at John 14 verses 13 and 14, what does it say? It says, pray in my name, and whatever you ask, I shall give it to you. He's talking about being with the Father and being able to give people whatever they ask for in his name. So what is he saying? He's saying, I am omnipotent because I can give you whatever you ask. He's saying, I'm omnipresent because he's with the Father, but he can also be with you. Because he says he'll also come and dwell with you. Our God going through this and then placed on a cross. The cross was designed to be the most humiliating, the most painful way to die ever in human history. We had to invent a word to describe how painful it is. Excruciating. Excruce means from the cross. This pain is what God decided to use. This death, he takes a look at all of human history and he says, that death, that execution is enough to show people what I want to show them. What was he trying to show us through all this? The depths of his love for us.